From the moment Emma met Raj, her world began to change in ways she never imagined. She had grown up in a small suburban neighborhood in Vermont, raised by loving but very traditional parents. Her mother, Margaret, and father Charles, both in their early 60s, were known in their community for being old-fashioned and proud of their heritage. They were polite in public, but often critical behind closed doors, especially when things didn't match their worldview. Emma, a bright, independent-minded woman in her late 20s, had moved to New York City after college to work as a fashion designer. It was there she met Raj, a software engineer originally from India, at a mutual friend's birthday party. Raj was tall, soft-spoken, intelligent, and deeply respectful. He was also very close to his father, Mr. Dev Mehra, retired schoolteacher who now lived in New Jersey. Emma and Raj's connection grew stronger with each passing month. They were different in many ways, but shared a deep understanding and admiration for each other. Within a year and a half, Raj proposed to Emma during a peaceful walk in Central Park. She said yes without hesitation. When Emma told her parents about the engagement, there was an awkward silence over the phone. Her mother tried to sound happy, but Emma could hear the hesitation in her voice. Her father barely said anything except, "Well, we'll see how all this turns out." A few weeks later, Raj took Emma to meet his father. Mr. Mehra welcomed her with genuine warmth, treating her like his own daughter. He cooked a delicious Indian meal, asked her about her dreams, her family, and even shared stories from Raj's childhood. Emma felt at home in a way she hadn't expected. But when it came time for the two families to meet, things took a different turn. Emma's parents agreed to host a dinner at their Vermont home. It was a formal setting, with their large dining room arranged just right, their best china laid out. And their friends invited two mostly other well-to-do white couples from the neighborhood. Mr. Mehra arrived alone. Raj's mother had passed away years ago, and he had raised Raj as a single father. He wore a simple beige kurta and pants, clean but modest. He brought a homemade fruit cake and a bouquet of fresh marigolds. From the moment he walked in, Emma's parents looked at him with condescension. "You're wearing a ... tunic, is it?" Margaret said with a smile that barely hid her mockery. "It's called a kurta," Mr. Mehra replied kindly. "It's traditional attire from India." "Ah, interesting," Charles added dryly. "We're more of a suit and tie crowd, but I suppose that works too." Throughout the evening, they made small but cutting remarks. They laughed at the fruitcake, comparing it to something from the 1800s, and whispered about the marigolds, saying they looked like funeral flowers. They even questioned how a schoolteacher could afford to support his son in the U.S. must have taken a lot of scholarships, Charles chuckled. Emma noticed every word, every glance. Her cheeks flushed with embarrassment and anger. She wanted to scream to defend Mr. Mehra, but he remained calm, smiling gently, plying with grace and dignity. Later that night, Emma cried in the car with Raj. "I'm so sorry for the way they treated your father," she whispered. Raj shook his head. "He's used to it. Taught me to stay silent in the face of ignorance and let actions speak louder." The wedding date was set 6 months later. Emma and Raj decided on a fusion, wedding a blend of Indian and Western traditions. They rented a beautiful estate in upstate New York with outdoor gardens and a rustic indoor hall. Emma wore a white gown for the ceremony and a red and gold lehenga for the reception. Raj wore a suit for the vows and a sherwani later. Emma's parents agreed to pay for most of the wedding, insisted on organizing the reception. Raj and Emma focused on the ceremony, which was led by a priest and also included a simple Christian blessing. Mr. Mehra, meanwhile, kept to himself throughout the planning. He told Raj, "Let them do what they want. I will give my blessing in my own way." The wedding day arrived, and the weather was perfect. Guests arrived from both sides, Mon's family, friends, and neighbors, and Raj's relatives and college buddies. The ceremony was beautiful. There was laughter, a few tears, and a heartfelt vow exchange. Then came the reception. Emma's parents had spared no expense. A live jazz band played soft music. The tables were covered with white satin and gold accents. The menu included gourmet dishes, wines, and a towering 5-layer cake. They were beaming with pride, showing off their event planning skills. Mr. Mera sat quietly at one of the family tables. He wore a freshly ironed cream sherwani with a simple gold border. His gift box rested beside him, medium-sized, wrapped in plain brown paper with a red ribbon. After the main course, Charles took the microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, "we'd like to thank you all for being here to celebrate Emma and Raj's marriage. As proud parents, Margaret and I are thrilled to welcome Raj into our family." Paused. "And we hope he's ready for all the quirks that come with us." Everyone chuckled. Emma smiled politely. Raj squeezed her hand. "We also know how important family is to Raj," Charles continued. "And we're grateful his father, Mr. Mera, could join us today. We may come from different worlds, but tonight we come together as one family." The applause was short but polite. Then Mr. Mera stood up. Quietly, he walked to the stage with the gift box in his hand. "I don't speak much in public," he said into the microphone. "I do not have much wealth or grand speeches, but I have something I want to give the newlyweds." The room grew silent. He opened the brown paper slowly, revealing a wooden box. Inside, there were two items: a small, hand-carved wooden elephant and an old leather journal. "I carved this elephant myself," Mr. Mera said, holding it up. "It symbolizes strength, loyalty, and wisdom. May your marriage be like the elephant, strong, patient, and never forgetting love." There was a soft murmur of appreciation. "And this," he continued, lifting the journal, "is something I began writing when Raj was born. It's a collection of lessons, memories, mistakes, poems, letters to his mother, and hopes for his future. Every page was written with love, across 30 years. Raj's eyes widened. "I never knew about this, ... I wanted to give it to you on your wedding day," his father said, his voice cracking slightly. "And now that you are building a new life with Emma, may this guide you both. These words are all I have, but they are everything I am." A long pause followed. No one said a word. Emma's parents stared in stunned silence. The mockery, the judgments, the whispers, they all melted away in that moment. What Mr. Mera had offered was not money, not extravagance, but soul. Raj walked up and hugged his father tightly, tears rolling down his cheeks. Guests stood up one by one, applauding. Some were crying. Even Margaret clutched a tissue, cleared his throat, and looked away. Ashamed Emma stepped forward, took the microphone, and said, "That is the most beautiful gift we could ever receive. Thank you, Dad Mera. I am so honored to be your daughter now." The rest of the night shifted. People came up to Mr. Mera to talk, to listen, to understand. Many admitted they had never truly spoken with someone from another culture so deeply. Before, some asked to see the journal. Others just shook his hand and thanked him for his words. Later that evening, when most guests had left and only close family remained, Charles quietly walked up to Mr. Mera. "I owe you an apology," he said, not quite looking him in the eye. "I judged too quickly. That gift, it was something I could never have given." Mr. Mera smiled. "Every father gives what he has. I only gave what I could." And with that, two very different men, one with old beliefs, one with an open heart, shared a quiet nod of understanding. From that day forward, Emma's parents began to see Raj's father in a new light. They made efforts to learn more about Indian culture, even visiting Mr. Mera occasionally for dinner. The homemade fruitcake soon became a family favorite, and on every anniversary, Raj and Emma would open the journal, read a page aloud, and remember that love is not measured by wealth or tradition, but by the quiet, powerful wisdom of the heart.